Oh, hey, what's up, shitheads? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be doing a range test on the Mini Goat with the 50 amp hour battery. Now, truth be told, I've actually filmed this video before with the original motor controller combination on this bike, but never released that video because they upgraded it since then and I figured it was irrelevant. But I got exactly 50 miles, and today we're going to see if we can beat that number. But anyways, guys, we're going to have plenty of time to talk while we're out there on the trail, so what do you say we go ahead and get started? Come on, guys, let's go. All right, here we are out on the Mini Goat 50 amp hour. This is the Iron Horse Trail. It starts in Concord, California, goes all the way down to Pleasanton. It's about a 50-mile round trip. I've done this a few times. I typically don't ride this trail because out here it's not so populated and you can go pretty much as fast as you want. But this goes through some more affluent areas. It's highly trafficked, and the road bikers and people on this trail take themselves very serious. Pretty much every time I come out here, I end up getting yelled at least once. Probably deserved, and I've actually seen law enforcement presence on this trail where they had speedometer. They were checking people's speeds on the trail. So this is definitely not a trail you want to go to if you're going to be trying to break any speed records or anything. I bought the Tesla earlier this year, and I was going to make a video. I ride this bike from my house to Pleasanton where I bought it, and the motor burned up on that trip. It all started out fine, all fun and games, but as the trip progressed, I could smell like a burning smell, and the motor just kept going slower and slower. And then when I was rolling it by itself, there was resistance in there, so it just cooked itself along the way. And I just kept pushing and pushing because I wasn't about to walk the bike. It wasn't the funnest day of my biking career, that's for sure. But this section of the trail is more sparsely populated. There's like homeless encampments and stuff. Not somewhere I want to spend extended amounts of time. It's just nice to have a bike like this where, hey, getting away is not going to be a problem. Luckily right now on this bike, whoa, look at that. Holy crap. Look how close we are to that big old hawk. Big hawk, that sounds wrong, right? Wow. That was neat. Yeah, that's half the fun of e-biking, isn't it, guys? Am I the only one that when you're out riding, you'll start to geek out when you see wildlife? Like one time on this very trail, I saw a fox running around. I was like, wow, a fox, because you just don't see fox much out here. But she wasn't too happy to see me. So yeah, this is my favorite bike of the year so far. I don't see anything dethroning it. I have the King Goat at home currently, but that's waiting on a controller update. I can ride it, but it's got like a soft start baked into it, and you got a mid-drive bike like that, and the mid-drives are known for having torque, and it's like the controller mapping on that bike removed all the torque. It makes no sense. It's still fairly quick, but I say wait on that. Wait till you start seeing videos with the updated controller setup and see how well it performs. But one thing I do know about Goat is they have a history of making things right with their bikes, such as the Mini Goat here. So I got this, motor burned up, controller was a square wave controller, so it was noisy. And they rectified all that, and now the Mini Goat is my favorite bike of the year, but it's the Mini Goat V2. The Motor Goat's on the V3, so hopefully the King Goat V2 will be the one to get. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how that bike performs once it gets the controller update. I try not to get too angry at people on the trail. Some people take themselves really serious. Slow down. I'm not going to go buzzing through the crowds at 30, 40 miles an hour. Half the point of getting out here on your bikes is to get exercise, have fun. I don't know why some people make it such a miserable experience by taking everything so damn serious. And I'm not going to make a feature-length film of riding around on the trail, so I'll go ahead and switch you over to a time lapse, and we'll catch up with you and give you an update in just a bit. So I don't know if I mentioned this already. This was an old railway at one point, and they've repurposed it to this bike trail. So you see these cool old railroad trestles along the way. I think you see these a lot like cross country. They have one, I think it's called the Great something. They're gonna make a trail that's supposedly supposed to go cross country. I got under left already. There's a couple little side tracks you can take through here, which are pretty fun. Like that, a couple of them. I don't think I'll do anything too crazy because, don't exactly have off-road suspension on this bike. We're doing 21.8 miles average speed, which we will not be keeping up on for that long, I'll tell you that much. And we are 5 miles into the ride, and we're only about 15 minutes in, so we're cooking. hopefully, I just switched phones. My last phone was actually paid for by my work. I have a full-time job, and it was an Android. And I figured, it's about time I change over to an iPhone. And not because I especially wanted an iPhone, it's because I felt like I was penalized for having an Android. I go meet up with these different influencers and creators and stuff. And I want to transfer files, and it's really a pain to do it from an Android. Being able to airdrop files with your Apple is like so easy. It makes it so much easier. But, I have a 17 Pro Max, the latest and greatest, and I was expecting to just be absolutely floored. Like, wow, the new iPhone. I mean, it takes nice pictures, but what camera doesn't take nice pictures? And as of this point, it's like, yeah, it's a nice phone, but it's not like life-changing or anything. I mean, come on, people, let's not be so dramatic. It's just a phone. But yeah, I do like it. And the number one thing I've noticed now is I've texted these people and they're like, oh, you finally got an Apple. That's it. Like, that's the number one difference I've noticed, that and airdropping. And you remember Apple used to have those advertisements that said, think different? Well, those didn't age well, did they? Here we are in a place called Pleasant Hill. And I believe there's actually a bike meetup that meets out here every Thursday. We're right by the BART station out here. I plan on one of these Thursdays, I'll probably try and attend one of those ride-outs. Not a ride-out, sorry, a bike ride. It's like, this neat little pedestrian bridge through here. I've ridden the length of this trail on a regular bicycle before. It's very doable because it's flat. So as long as you got time, you could probably get it done. Sorry guys, I feel like I have a lot to talk about today because, some changes for the channel. I've decided going forward, I'm not going to be doing the reviews as much because I have a full-time job. I only have time to film on the weekends typically, especially when it's shorter days in the winter. And having to spend my limited time doing a review on a bike that I honestly just don't care that much about is kind of soul-sucking. I got into this YouTube stuff because I like making videos. I like trying to make people laugh. It's like a creative outlet, and then here I am like spending my free time making videos on, I'm not gonna like disparage these bikes, but it's not something I'm passionate about, I'll tell you that much. I absolutely love riding bikes, but I'm gonna try and focus more on doing content on the bikes I do like, such as the mini goat bikes, faster bikes, E-Moto, stuff like that. And I'll do the occasional review on a bike that I think actually fills a niche, whether it be a budget bike that is actually something I would personally recommend, or just a bike that offers a unique, fun experience. But I'm not gonna try and be a review channel because honestly, guys, that's just not how I'm wired. I know the specs, I know the stuff, but I'm more of a guy who does things by feel. There's other people that are better at doing the reviews by far. I mean, you get Scott Hardesty, very detailed reviews, Maximum Charge, he's doing like capacity tests on the batteries now, always like tail happy. There's all these people that do better reviews than me, and I'm not mad about that. I'm just not a review guy. So it's easy, if it was easy for me to get caught up in they start sending you bikes and you're like, yeah, this is cool. And it's like, now I have a house full of bikes and no free time. And I don't really want this to feel like a job, a soul-sucking job, because, I already have one of those. I don't need two of them. I'm looking forward to like making content I like to make because I feel like that's where my talent is better suited. I really enjoy meeting up with other creators and doing rides, just doing different stuff, location visits, all sorts of stuff, but just reviews, not my number one favorite thing to do. But anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling here for a minute and we'll switch over to time lapse and I'll catch up with you guys in just a bit. Here we are in a really, really rough area known as Walnut Creek. Showing 98% battery, 8.38 miles into the ride. Average speed of going down to 19.2 miles now. One thing I am noticing is kind of nice on here. I'm using the pedal assist setup as more of like a speed limiter because this is a speed-based cadence system. I have it set to 9 levels of pedal assist and I have it on pedal assist 4 and it'll go exactly 20 miles an hour. So it makes it easier than being on and off the throttle the whole time. These people look at me like I'm an alien or something. Maybe they think I'm riding a motorcycle. I don't know. Does it look like I'm riding a motorcycle to you? I don't think so. But then again, I am kind of like chronically in the e-bike world. So whatever, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But just got to keep my eyes peeled for the ops around here. I found myself, after I got the Tesla, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna always use the truck if I need to transport the bikes. But I now use my Tesla all the time to transport a bike, but it's only good for one bike. Like, as a matter of fact, today, I transported this in the back of the Tesla. That's been one of the most polarizing cars I've ever owned. Because, you know, right when I bought it, it was at the peak of everybody hating Elon. And we'd get people in traffic randomly flipping me off, just all sorts of people getting angry at me. It was funny, because it's like, this is an inanimate object. I didn't buy the car as a political statement. Like, these people are angry because of the news, and they're taking it out on people they see in day-to-day life. When I was in Chicago, people thought me and Scott were ICE agents. It's just weird. Like, you can have whatever views you want, but when you start taking it out on like your fellow citizen for no reason, it's kind of, you got to ask yourself, maybe take a step back away from the TV. The whole movement was to sell your Tesla. It's like, okay, if you sell your Tesla, somebody buys the Tesla. What are you actually achieving? And then I bought mine used.
Oh, it's right here.
I didn't give Elon any money. Yeah, but my whole point of that is that car is very, very polarizing. It's funny because like the whole perception of electric cars has changed over time. I wanted to get an electric car because my eventual goal would be to have a house with solar panels and be like energy sufficient, have an electric car, electric bikes, and basically not be dependent on gas stations or the grid or whatever as much as possible. So man, it's like, you know, I've always wanted the Plaid because they're fast and it's just fun. It's a really fun car. So yeah, anyways, I have the Tesla and I get so many people, anytime I post a story of it on my Instagram or Facebook, no less than 2 to 3 people send me memes saying it's gay or, you know, insinuating that I like men. Yeah, there's anything wrong with that. But it's just funny. People either hate the car, most people don't like it, they either say it's gay or a few people enjoy it. But it's just funny because I have never seen a vehicle elicit as many reactions as that Tesla gets. It's entertaining to say the least. If you want a car that's, you know, for your daily driver, for around town, I don't think you can have a better car than an electric car. I've now driven in a couple of long range trips, and that is not where they're good at. They are not good at those. Claims a range of like 350 miles. Yeah, right, no way. If you're going like anything over 55 miles an hour, you're not gonna get anywhere near those range numbers. I went to LA and I had to stop and charge twice along the way, but it's a whole different, you're not charging from completely full, you're charging from, say, you know, 15% to 60% or 15% to 50%, and that's enough to get you to the next charger. Because when it's at certain levels, the car charges significantly faster, and it's kind of amazing how fast those charge. For reference, I have the 11 amp charger from a King Goat. This thing pulls like, we'll say like 900 to 1,000 watts to get the full 11 amp charging on here. The Tesla, at full charge, I've seen it pull 230,000 watts. That's insane to me. That's literally like, you know, running 20 home air conditioners at the same time. That's an insane amount of power to be generated. So it doesn't even make sense to me how the grid can support that many cars back to back at those chargers. So for a daily driver around town, you can't do any better than the Tesla or an electric car. Long range, yeah, that's not there yet. But anyway, if you lack some drama in your life, get yourself an electric car and the drama will find you. So we just went through Walnut Creek. We're in a town called Alamo now. This is, I believe, one of the richest area codes, at least in the Bay Area. Steph Curry, a lot of, you know, very wealthy people live through here. And I don't care how much money I have, guys. I don't think I'd ever want to live in a wealthy area because people just have nothing better to do but get angry about stupid stuff. Antioch's not the nicest place in the world, but it's got its own problems, which means I can ride an E-Moto around, I can speed on my e-bikes, I can speed in a car up to like 20 miles over the speed limit and not get in trouble for it. Out here, you're gonna get in trouble for everything. Cracked tail lights, they're gonna, you know, you gotta find that balance that works for you, ladies and gentlemen. I guess that's my message. We'll catch up with you guys in a little bit and do another update. I know you can't wait, right? Well, one of the benefits of being in nicer areas is Look at this little park that's right off the side of the trail there. Bathrooms, no graffiti. It even says here, you're not supposed to use drugs or alcohol. I think in the area, my area, they actually encourage it. We'll do a little update here. Misleading, the gauge went back up to 100%. The gauge on this bike does stay at 100 for a long time, because if it went down at this rate, this bike would have like 2,000 miles of range. 12.64 miles into the ride. Did want to take a quick second to tell you guys, I did do a couple mods of this. The taillight on this bike hangs down stock, and I broke it. And it's funny because I've Maximum Charge, I believe, broke his. And I found this online. It's a thin strip LED. Not only is it the taillight, it has the brakes, and it works as the turn signals as well. And I think it looks a lot cooler. So yeah, I'll put the link for that in the description. I did have to splice the wires, so it wasn't exactly plug and play. And if I showed you the splicing job I did, you'd probably throw up. I think it looks pretty cool. As much as I ride this bike on the street at nighttime and stuff, I want that to work. Trails like this, paved trails, graveled a little bit, you know, you can get yourself, this is an awesome city bike or commuter bike. And so far, this is by a long shot my favorite bike of 2025. And before I got this bike, I was not looking forward to it at all. Like, oh, the Mini Goat is like, why would I want that? I wanted an updated version of the Motor Goat V3. So when they announced this, it's like, you know, whatever, I'll get it for the channel. And once I got it, you know, obviously the initial motor issues, once that was resolved, I was like, man, this bike is absolutely awesome. It can climb pretty much any hill I can throw at it. I've been very surprised by the climbing prowess of this bike. With the stock motor, it had some issues and it would overheat going up hills. But with this upgraded, bigger motor and sine wave controller, I've been able to climb some really, really steep stuff. It made it up the wall in Black Diamond Mines, throttle only, no stopping. This is the only bike I've had, I believe, has been able to do that with a single motor. Some things they need to fix though, this throttle is just on or off. They could tune this throttle so it has actually a linear pull to it. That'd be nice. And if they could somehow make this bike a little bit lighter, yeah. I mean, you're not gonna wanna do any significant pedaling on here, but this bike for commuter, fast, get around bike, man, you can't really beat this thing. I really like this section of trail through here. There's like a canopy of trees, and it almost looks like you're going through a tunnel of trees. It's really pretty. It always shocks me that in a world where bicycling exists, people still wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm gonna go out there and jog. Like, they make that conscious choice. You can make a case for hiking, I think, you know, because it's scenic, it's more fun, there's a purpose to it, but just jogging, ugh. There's a weird little issue here. Noticing now I'm in pedal assist 3, top speed's 20 miles an hour. If I go up to pedal assist 4 from 3, it's keeping the same top speed of 20 miles an hour. I'm gonna go up to pedal assist 5. Now my full throttle is giving me a faster speed limit. But the funny thing is now, if I go back to pedal assist 4, suddenly 20 miles an hour is no longer my top speed. I'm going clear up past 30. So it's kind of weird. If you're going up to pedal assist 4, you're gonna have 20 mile an hour speed limit. You go down to pedal assist 4, who knows? There's a time and place to be going fast on busy trails like this is not it. Especially there's kids around. Kids are like notoriously oblivious. Ooh, look at this. This is what I mentioned earlier. There's a policeman right there, and he doesn't look like he's looking at traffic. He looks like he's looking at the bike trail. It's a good thing I'm not going that fast. How you doing? I'm pedaling now. The funny thing is, I'm sure that guy will ride out here onto the bike trail on his motorcycle to give somebody a ticket or whatever they do, which is kind of ironic, isn't it? This is a town called Danville. Another super nice, expensive area code. There's a little offshoot in Danville. I don't know, sure if this is technically, I'm not sure if it's its own town, but it's called Blackhawk. That's where, like, you know, E-40 lives. Different celebrities will live out there. It's really expensive. It's all gated. They don't have regular grocery stores out here. They have expensive grocery stores, like Lombardi's. Do you like shopping, but you want to pay more for the same exact products? Well, come on down to Lombardi. I always like to point this out. This is a really neat little section here. We're going underneath Highway 680 right here. And it's kind of interesting to see these things in person. Just the amount of work it must have taken to build this kind of boggles my mind. And this is nothing special. They just have these overpasses everywhere, but it's just, that's a huge structure, you know? And we drive over these things all the time and never think about it. At least I don't. But anyways, guys, so we'll catch up with you in just a bit. We are 86%, 17.2 miles. This section of trail is not the most scenic, but you know, what do you expect? Yosemite everywhere? Going on these trails, at least you know, the first couple times, because it gives you a whole different perspective. Because when I drive here down to this area, you're on the freeway the whole time, and you know, freeways aren't exactly known for being beautiful. So coming through here, you get to go through the communities. It's just like a more visceral. You can almost imagine what it'd be like living in these areas as you cruise through. But truth be told, guys, it's kind of getting to the point where like, I've done all the trails in my area so many times that I have to start driving to go to new places, which is something I really enjoy doing. I don't think I ever go on vacation that doesn't at least involve e-bikes anymore. If I'm gonna go somewhere that I'm flying, I'm probably gonna be flying to somewhere like Chicago to meet Scott Hardesty, who has his own e-bikes I can ride. I used to be a big drinker, and I'd always think like if I went on vacation, I'd always have to have like access to alcohol or like bars or something. I wouldn't be going on vacation if I couldn't drink while I was there. But now I'm like, I replaced that habit with e-bikes. Everything I see reminds me of her. This section of Camp San Ramon is pretty much like all corporate business parks. I think you got Chevron out here, IBM used to be out here. So, you know, some of these have left in the last few years. What's funny is, you know, you'll read the job application, it's like fast-paced environment, looking for, you know, creative free thinkers, and then they'll sit you in a cubicle in a nondescript building like this. And that's, you know, that's their fast-paced creative. Like, I appreciate corporate jobs, guys. I've had many, but I think there's nothing that's more like creativity zapping than being a corporate person. I've seen it happen many times where people start using all those corporate terms. They get on conference calls and think like, man, I'm a badass, man. I carry some weight on these conference calls. These people are scared of me. And I think if that's what's happened in your life, then officially they've won. They won, guys. They broke you. You are a fan of Big Brother. Hey, do what you got to do for money, but don't lose who you are in the process. Once you start thinking that your position at work defines who you are, it's too late, guys. You need to start working on looking on yourself, because I've been laid off from 2 or 3, 4 different corporate jobs. And never once was it because of my performance. It was always because of downsizing or whatever. So the guys, there's that saying, they will replace you. They will have your job posted before your obituary is posted, and it is so true. Do your work, do a good job, but don't let it become your identity. But all that soul sucking happens right here in these business complexes, where they extract the soul right out of your body in exchange for money. Instead of doing great things like range tests on mini goat bikes, you could be sitting in a cubicle in an office like that. Okay guys, I'm gonna switch over to a time lapse, catch up with you in a bit. All these corporate offices around here. Look at this high school. Doesn't that look like a prison to you? That looks exactly like a prison to me. Even the yard looks like a prison yard. This is the San Ramon Golf Course. We are showing 84%, and we are 21.67 miles into the ride. No ped crossing, and right here is where you cross the street. Like, did they really need a sign? I guess maybe people come flying off the trail and used to just go right across, like sometimes you just got to put it in God's hands, you know. I regret nothing, it's in the Lord's hands, and you just go for it, you know. So maybe that happened enough times where they had to put up this rail here. It's hard to explain in some of these videos. It's like, you know, I wasn't particularly like juiced to come out here and do this ride. I've done it a few times before, but like now that I'm into it, a lot of the times it brings back that childhood sense of wonder. Like, I'm pretty far out. I'm, you know, more than 20 something miles out from where I started. Out in this trail in a place, you know, like something happened right now, it would not be the funnest time getting back to my vehicle. But it's just a cool feeling, because you can just stop, take a break, take it all in, get something to eat. It's like a little adventure, and you know, you can choose the way you go I'm on a kind of predetermined course today, but you know, if I'm like in a new area, you're riding around on your bike, you want to go somewhere else, you see something that's interesting, well, simply just go ride towards it and have fun. That's what I think is the magic of these bikes. So if you remember that sense of childhood, you know, wonder when you're on your bike and you did little adventures riding around, well, imagine that on steroids and just with so much more range, so much more capability and things to do, and no better bike to do that on than, say, a Goat Power Bikes Mini Goat. If you're interested in ordering one of these, you can use the link in the description of this video. Coupon code Shoot the Chit to save yourself 5% off that. And of course, guys, that helps support the channel, and I greatly appreciate that. These bikes are awesome. I would be doing stuff like this whether or not I had the channel. And as a matter of fact, that's how I started doing the whole channel in the first place. Some of my core childhood memories involved bikes, and it just kind of worked out that now I have a YouTube channel involving bikes because, you know, it's fate. So we're in a town called Dublin now. Not Dublin, Ireland, you silly goose. We're in Dublin, California. Got the trail to myself right here. We'll open it up a little bit. It's half the thing with these faster bikes, guys, is having the discipline to not just ride like a maniac the whole time. Be considerate of other people, you know. Well, this is typically like right about where this trail, what I would say, kind of ends, where I usually turn around, and I usually turn around right here. But we're gonna keep going because I feel extremely confident in how far we're gonna be able to make it today. This bike can just do it all. Definitely put the most miles on this out of any bike I have in the arsenal. Just zipping right along, 40s miles an hour, 43. Definitely going into a bit of wind right here. A little bit of bumps on the trail. Hitting them at 40, you know, what could possibly go wrong? So right here, we're gonna be going under the 580, 680 interchange. It's right over there. Guys, if you love traffic, then come on down to the 580, 680 interchange. They got traffic for you almost 24 hours a day. This is another one of those structures, pretty neat looking. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it, guys. I'm a fan of overpasses and the engineering it takes to make them. %, we're at 28.5 miles. So we're on course to be doing 100 miles. I mean, is that realistic? No, not really. What typically happens is these will stay at 100% for a while, and then once they start dropping, they drop faster, and it's like, it drops exponentially faster as it goes down. But we're definitely gonna get higher than 50 miles that I got with the original motor controller setup. So we're doing the back way through Pleasanton now. So you start to feel like a urban explorer when you get your bike, because you start finding all these little back trails and stuff like this. I swear I can make it from like my house to pretty much any town in the Bay Area almost, using the roads like less than 1% of the times. There's some situations where you just have to ride on the road, but for the most part I feel like I can get from one area to the next with avoiding roads. Here's one of those scenarios where you're just forced to go on the road. We're not ready to completely ditch the road system just yet. You know, it's been a while since I've been here, and I want to say it gets to the point up here where I might have to do a little bit of off-roading. But this is another cool little trail system, right? You don't get to see stuff like this when you're driving your car around, but I like seeing stuff like this. I think this is really cool. Trying to not stop if I don't have to. Doing some pretty tumultuous terrain here. Uh-oh. Oh gosh. Hello. We made it through. Nothing the Mini Goat can't accomplish if you put your mind to it. If you're willing to get some dings on your Mini Goat, well then you'll be surprised with just exactly how far you can take this thing. You know, when I was younger, I may or may not have partaken in the devil's lettuce, okay? And half the fun of that is when you're young, you're hiding it, right? So inherently you had to go places where nobody would find you doing it. And no better place than a place like this to come enjoy your devil's lettuce when you're a teenager, right? So maybe that's why I'm kind of fond of these types of places. It's just fun to go find your little hangouts off the beaten path. 30.19 miles into this ride, showing 73%. And this is officially the furthest point we're gonna get away from where I started. We're gonna be turning back now. So in theory, this ride should end up being right about 60 miles, but we'll see. I just wanna make sure it still does it, guys. Safety first. We are, guys, on the beginning of the Iron Horse Trail, or the end of it, I guess, depending on whose side you're on. Maybe it's just me, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but you know, not only do I like to think that maybe one of these days I'll be able to run away from the police and I'll know all these side roads to get away, I also keep an eye out for places I could like get off the grid or like build myself a nice little home away from home. And these little bushes right here, man, these look perfect, right? Because you know, like on the inside of those, you could put up a tent or something, build yourself a nice little hut, and nobody even know you're there for a while. Like, you know, like when you were a kid, did you ever go into the middle of the clothing rack and like you hide back there? Like, is it just me, or does that desire like carry over to being an adult and you just want to, like, instead of clothing racks, you want to come here on these bushes? I would say I'm on an iron horse, but I guess technically I'm not. I'm on an aluminum horse, right? What was it? Iron horse is probably a reference to the railroad, right? A steel horse, you know, Bon Jovi, on a steel horse I ride. I believe that's a motorcycle. So what is this, an aluminum horse? And then a carbon fiber horse would be like one of those road bikes up there. Hey, maybe one of these days I'll do it. I'll bring that gear with me on the bike and I'll go camp somewhere where I'm not supposed to. Wait. Hacienda.
Wait to cross Hacienda. Wait.
It got louder as I pressed it. It must have think I'm deaf. 35.3 miles, 64%. Back to where we split off this trail in the first place, on the Iron Horse. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my way back. So we are at 59%. We went down 6% just leaving that park, and we are at 36.35 miles. So let's see what we're at when we get back to the vehicle. It got dark really fast. It's like pitch black out here, and I wanted to give you an idea of just like how nice the lights look on this bike. That is super bright. You know, I'm not like Mr. Central Driver. I don't always ride at night, but I do think it's funny. I'm noticing a lot of people have headlights on their bikes and they don't have them adjusted, and they're just shining right into your eyes. So maybe they can see, maybe they can't, but you know, it's just ensuring you that you can't see as they ride by, because they're just shining the light directly into your eyeballs. I am really cold right now. Guys, can you see it? There's a fox or a coyote right in front of me. It got away. Yeah, getting pretty close now, and the battery's dropping quick. As a matter of fact, if I give it full throttle, it's giving me an Aero 6, which is usually, I think, from the low voltage, but it's still getting me decent power. 57 point something miles right now. I'm not incredibly far away from my car, so I'm not too worried. Really thinking, not really enjoying the prospect of potentially running out of battery right around here, because I don't know if you guys can see, there's you know, interesting clientele all over the place here. But the way the throttle's responding, I don't anticipate the power is going to cut out just yet. 4%, and it's going down so fast. Granted, I've pedaled probably a total of about 10 to 20 rotations this whole ride. This has been throttle only. 3%. Top speeds just dropping slowly but surely. We're at 23 miles an hour now. Guys, there you have it. We did 59.15 miles. We have 3% battery left. I'm sure I could have grinded it out, got 60 miles out of this, but that's awesome range. We weren't going slow or riding like I normally did. And it was pretty much throttle only. So guys, once again, 2025 Bike of the Year. If you're interested, order one. Link in the description. Coupon code SHOOT the shit to save yourself 5%. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.